Howdy folks, welcome back to Archean. We're back. It's been 4 or 5 months, I think, since I made the last video. Been kind of waiting on the game to make some updates and just playing other things. But I saw they've been making a lot of updates this month, and also they're going to start marketing it, so they've asked people to, spread the word. So I'm back in here. We're going to check out some of the stuff that's changed. And if you're new here, if the algorithm just landed you on this video, there is a playlist where I started here in adventure mode with nothing. And I built all of this. It was a lot of fun. Is it F3? Yeah, there we go. I've got to remember how to play here. So yeah, I started on adventure mode with nothing, and I built a little base. I've built a plane. We went exploring. I've got a rover. I've got some remote mining stuff. All that's in the playlist. Go check that out. I've got this big solar array here, charging up the plane. But one thing they added was a big wheel. So I wanted to make a kind of a big wheel rover. I thought about upgrading my existing rover, but the big wheel takes the big battery connection, and I don't have big battery capacity on the existing rover. So if you haven't seen my base before, I do have like an auto crafter set up. There's this nice little crafting computer set up on the workshop. I did have to go update the code on this. Some of the updates since I played broke. But he has a link to his GitHub on the workshop page for this computer. And there should be links for all the stuff I'm using in the description. So I updated the code and it was off to the races. And it's pretty cool. I just had to update it on the hard drive. Update those code files and it was good to go. So I think, did I make a wheel? Let's tab for inventory. I was thinking I made a big wheel. That might have been in one of my test versions. Yeah, so let's go ahead and craft up. I want at least 4 of the big wheels. And we'll see if we can make some kind of rover. So I want to go to components and big wheel. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. So instead of having to handcraft everything and all the prerequisites and whatnot, this computer just does it for you. It's a little noisy. But it has all the stuff here in this storage container. And it just figures it all out for you. So we'll let it do its thing. It's going to be chugging through there. Meanwhile, is this updating? Depth 44.79. We'll see if that changes. I don't know if this computer is working or not. So this ties into a beacon that's way out there on that mountain range where we're getting some titanium, I believe, is what I went out there for. That's why I had to build the airplane, to go find titanium. I think it might not be working. No, I did pull it in. Batteries at 72%. I don't remember what the logic was on the remote mining site. Maybe it's waiting for the battery to charge. It is anchored. It says it is drilling. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. We'd have to go check. It's been a while since I played, so I forgot what I've even got in here. Let's check on the old airplane here. I was looking for battery. 93% on the airplane. It's been so long since I flew this. I had a... Oh yeah, there it is. Pitch. There's a way to zoom in. I forget what it is now. V? Nope. If you push F1, you can get some help, and then left alt toggles cursor mode. So it's got some basics here. F to interact, C. Z to zoom in or out. Gotcha. There we go. Yeah, I've got pitch and roll hold on the airplane. I remember doing that. It's got a ore scanner. A lot of this stuff, like the ore scanner and that computer, is from the workshop. I did the altitude hold and the screen and that kind of stuff. Some really smart people have made some really cool stuff on the Steam Workshop, so go check it out. And in case you haven't seen it, this is our little rover. So I think is it R? You get in the seat? Yeah, there we go. And then K will go to external view. We can zoom with the mouse wheel. Whee! There's been a lot of like physics updates and stuff since I played. So. Oh boy, it seems like the wheel's got a lot more torque. We didn't used to pop wheelies before when accelerating. That's awesome. Almost fly. So some tweaking may be required. I wanted to check on this little mining setup because I don't remember what I was doing out here. Is it... I had a break on here, but I don't remember what the key is. I'd have to go look at the programming. I think if we hold R... Yeah, that gets us off of the seat. Yeah, I honestly don't remember the how to do the break on there. So this is a similar mining setup as to what I have out there on the mountain. This is 9,000. So it looks like it is enabled, but it's not drilling. Okay, let's go take a look at the code, 'cause I honestly don't remember how this works. The editor has changed. I noticed that when I was working on the crafter computer, you have to like dock the windows now. So it is going to charge at yeah, it should resume at 50%. So why aren't you drilling? Okay, that still powers the computer. Does none of this work now? Since the update, I guess the update broke something. Yeah, there must be something in the code. Not even rebooting. Alright, I'll have to figure that out. It's apparently not working anymore. So that's why the drill thing wasn't changing on the screen, because the drill out there is also broken. Like this should toggle the anchor, and it's not doing anything. So something's broken in the code. I'll have to figure that out. Anyway, you could build all kinds of cool stuff. Let's go build a quick little rover if we can. I love it. That is awesome. Yeah, something has changed with the wheel power, because it definitely didn't do that last time I played. It would raise the nose a little bit, but I mean, this is just crazy. Check this out. That's what I call acceleration. See if you got a little bit of P factor tilting us off to the side there. Alright, we'll just park this thing up here. That was one for the brakes, but that may not work anymore either. I may have to go through all my code and get stuff changed. I like first person when I'm on my feet. I don't know if that's even working anymore. Alrighty, so how do you build something here, you say? Let's go grab the wheels. I think I've got some, yeah, I've got composite and whatnot to build with. So. Again, if you just landed here and you're not familiar with the game, there is a playlist. This will be the 10th video, I think, in the playlist, where I literally start with nothing in adventure mode. And you can also play creative, where you don't have to gather resources and all that stuff. I started in adventure mode, gathering rocks, and built all this, so it's a nice little progression. Alright, we got 4 big wheels. Drag and drop, it looks like. And then I'm going to need a large battery. Don't see a large battery in here. So let's go queue one of those. What's it called? Is it called large battery? Is it called battery large? Battery, no. What is it called? Big battery? No? Up. Should definitely be in components. I'm gonna, oh, it's called high voltage battery and low voltage battery. That's it. Alright, so we need a high voltage battery. So let's craft up one of those. So we can just watch it. It'll pull from all these ores that I've gathered up. And it's got to make a bunch of wires. So it's going to make the wire. It's also taking plastic. Now it's building some capacitors. I've looked up here so we can get that screen as well. So it's building capacitors, and it's got to build a casing, a circuit, 5 connectors, and 100 screws. So let's let it do that. I'll try to remember to fast forward this part. There we go. 1 high voltage battery. So you saw it made the capacitors, and then it needed 10 of those to make the circuit, so that it had to remake 10 capacitors. Yeah, it just figures it all out. It's a great little script. Shout out to whoever made that. Is it in your code? Where's the main? May not have put a comment in here, but it should be linked in the video description. It's on the workshop. Alright, high voltage battery. Let's go get a little rover made. So to do that, we're going to pull up our drill tool. Basically, any construction you starts with this frame. Which takes 12 steel beams. I think I have that on me. I do. Beautiful. Now we can add on frames. Like if you're going to build a building, you can add on frames. But I just want to add some parts. So I'm going to hold down C. I'm going to pick cube for my build tool. Now we can build a cube on here. I don't remember how big the wheel is. I don't remember how to build on here. Alright, so I'm going to put that there, and then if I put the wheel on my hotbar. How big is this thing? Oh, that's a pretty good size, isn't it? Slap you on there. There we go. Now I got an idea kind of how big I need to build this. And then if I bring my tool back up, if I want to delete, I hold right click. That's going to delete that whole thing though. Donk. I forgot weight is a thing. That's okay. We'll pick up this wheel. So if I grab the crowbar you can pick up stuff. So hold right click again and click on the wheel. Frame just settles back down. So I'm going to go to wall, and then how do I do the... Oh, use the wheel. Alright, so I want to go to wall. I want it to be concrete, so it'll be heavy. I'm going to put a wall on the bottom here. So that's weighty, so it won't want to tip over as bad. And if I go back to cube, I can set that back to composite, so I can scroll through all the different things. Composite's like a lightweight plastic. That's what we're going to use. So I want to go across like that, and then I'm going to use a scroll wheel to come out. Excellent. I'm going to put a wheel... Oh, it wants 4, huh? Okay. Come across, and then up, and then out. Wants to connect like that, I guess. All right. Fine. A little bit weird, but we can make it work, I think. And I forget how wide are these? 3 meters, so 1.5 is going to be... Okay. Come over 1, and then we come over 1, then we can do this, and then the scroll wheel comes out. Something like that. Back a little further. Actually, there's a way to... Oh yeah, if you just hold shift. You just hold shift, and then on a face, it'll like replicate that shape. That. We're just going to make, this is just a basic rover. So does that... Oh, it wants to connect to like a weird place. And then... Yeah, X is jetpack. So let me jetpack up here. Or no, actually I need below here. That's what I need. Yeah, there we go. Then we can stick our wheel on like that. And a wheel on like that. Now that's narrower back here, so that might be the front. Should I make it the same width? I should probably make it the same width. Let's do that. Symmetry is good, right? Mount 1, because that's how we did on the other side. Once you get used to it again, the building is really nice. And it doesn't matter like which way is forward. We'll figure that out as we wire everything up. So now that we have that, it should sit on its own two wheels. So we can get rid of that. Get rid, if we go back to frame mode, we can get frame. Now we just have this, and we need to put the battery on it. And we're going to need a seat and some other stuff. I'm going to say this is the front, so let's put the battery near the back for weight distribution. I'll leave room for another one up there. And I forgot to make a seat, so we need to go make a seat. I forget what it's called. Pilot seat. There we go. You push V, it'll turn on some info. Or whatever you're looking at. Alright, so we need to go back to... pilot seat. Yes, please. That should build fairly quickly. Main thing is the circuit. And the screws are quick to make. There we go. And then I'm going to need a basic computer. Do I have one of those on me? Mini computer. Yep, we got that'll get us going at least. You have computers and routers, and there are like rocket engines where you have to mix the fuel correctly, and it goes pretty deep, folks. I haven't even got into space flight yet. There is space flight. This is an actual scale planet. I think it's supposed to be Earth from like millions of years ago. There is a moon. You can go there. That's a place you can go. Not got that far yet. Some people have. You can also do submarines. I haven't got my submarine built yet, but yeah, you can go underwater, and there's a lot to this game. If you're still watching, probably interested in it. All right, plop a seat down. I need this computer. Does this computer have a hard drive in it? Yeah. How do I rotate? Rotate component before adding it. Use the mouse wheel. There we go. Pretty good about telling you what you need to do. Now, my one beef with this game is not everything is symmetrical. So I forgot, and I didn't. Like, if you build based on the cube, then some of the stuff doesn't sit in the middle, and that just kind of bothers me. It shouldn't bother me, but it does. So, now we have power, but we don't have low voltage power to power our computer. So we need a converter, which I think I've got somewhere here. Yeah, power converter. So we'll grab one of those. So that will take power in, and it'll power up our computer. Like so. And then I've got all these little spools of wire here you can see on my hotbar. So if I go to 5, that's our high voltage wire. So I'm going to run the wire down. Into there. Then we're going to get our red, which is our low voltage. Run that. Here, and then if I hold shift, it'll try to like hug whatever surface you're on. That's how I'm doing. Okay, now our computer is powered. We need to also power the wheels. So basically the blue is a data port. So we need to get power to the wheels. And then we need to have data from the computer telling the wheels what to do. Also need a junction. This is like a splitter. Let's have you come out and go into, and you can have stuff just run through. Doesn't really matter, but it makes me feel better if it doesn't run through the middle of my battery. And this is a pretty quick and dirty rover. Nothing fancy. That along there. Like that. And then we're going to need some ports hooked up. So let's say, I'm trying to think, do I want the... I think I have a... Oh, yeah, I do have a data junction. Trying to think if I want the wheels to be all driven at once, but there's also going to need to be steering, so... let me get that part figured out. I'm a little rusty, so let me get the wheels hooked up, and then we'll make this thing move. Okay, I've got it wired up, and there's 2 different ways to do the code. It basically has its own Xenon code IDE, and it has kind of a visual representation. You can also just switch to main code, but I'm just going to stick with the graphical stuff for something this simple. So I want to go ahead and put in some inputs. And we can see here, it knows what kind of device is hooked up to which port. So I hooked the left wheels up to 0 and 1, and the right wheels up to 6 and 7 ports on the computer. And the pilot seat is hooked up to port 11. So we're gonna grab that. So it'll make a node using the pilot seat. Oh, I did that wrong. I want an output node, which is the pilot seat. Then we need to look up the channels on that. So, and then the input is going to go out to the wheels. So here's the left wheel. These are the back wheels. And I'm going to grab some input nodes for the front wheels. Am I thinking the input and output wrong? Oh, okay, so that's outputting. Gotcha. I was thinking of inputting from the other perspective. So I did that wrong. Right, so we want output nodes because we're outputting to the wheels. So that's our rear wheels. I'm a little rusty. It's a complicated game. And then our front wheels. Then I need to go look up real quick the channels on the pilot seat. And I think there's in-game window. So this will open up some help. It seems like they changed the opacity and it's hard to read now. How do I change the... options? There we go. Let's put that on like 0.9-ish. Can I change that here too? It's really hard to read. Alright, close that. So if I go to Help, Xeon Encode Documentation Wiki, it's going to open that up on my web browser. Now I'm going to go over on my web browser to Components. I think it's called Navigation. Nope. Controllers. Pilot Seat. There we go. So over here on the wiki, which it'll open up in your browser, I can see which channel is which. So I want to go forward backwards, which is channel 1. Is that even right? So input from pilot seat. Ah, there we go. So forward backwards to WNS. So we're going to have that number go to our back wheels. And you just click and drag to accelerate. And we may need to reverse one of these because if you remember when we put the wheels on, they're on opposite sides and they rotate a specific direction. So one of these is going to need to be backwards. So if we go to math, we can say negative. So I don't know which wheel is going to need to be this way. I don't remember how you disconnect. There we go. So we're going to make one of these negative. I don't know if this will be the right direction. We'll just have to test it. Okay, and then I'm going to want a brake key. So if I do input pallet seat using... I'm going to make 1 the brake. So if I push the number 1, it'll be brakes. That way we can stop. Stopping is important. Then if I just save that, back out of here. In theory, we can hop up in the seat and drive this thing. Maybe. I'm going to go ahead and go to external view. So if I push W, hey, we actually go forward. So I guessed right. And if I hold 1, that's our brake. All right, cool. We have movement, folks. This video is getting a little long, but that's okay. All right, so if we go back into the code, we have backwards and forward. We need to be able to steer. And then you can change the numbers, like so it's not just on off, and you can have gearboxes, and you can do all kinds of different stuff. We're keeping it super simple for now. So back to input and pilot seat. And then using is going to be our steer left, right. And you could also have the front wheels drive as well. Right now we're just making a rear wheel drive. And then kind of the same thing here. We're going to need a negative. So we go to math, negative. I don't know which way needs to steer which direction, but we're going to try this. And then save all. Exit back out of here. Hop in the seat. I say I steer, and that doesn't go. Oh, I hooked it up to the wrong. Did hook that up wrong. Whoops. I thought I had I thought I had 0 go into the... Oh no, 0 went to the back. Did I do that wrong in the code? I sure did. Did it completely backwards. Well, we'll make it all-wheel drive. How about that? All right, you can disconnect. You can disconnect. So we'll just bring these up to all-wheel drive and then hook our steer up. So I did this backwards. My bad. I forgot these were the rear wheels. That's okay. We can just drag stuff around. So you guys are going to go over here. You guys are going to come up here. Doesn't really matter. It's just how I want it organized for the code's sake. And what you can do is you can get this set up kind of the way you want it, and then you can switch to code, and then you can tweak it if you're more comfortable with code. Alright, and then our brakes, let's put brakes on all 4 wheels as well. You can see here, you can do regen, and there's a gearbox where you can switch the gearing and all kinds of good stuff. Control S to save that. Back out of here. And we're steering. Awesome. So the wheel on the right is going the wrong direction, so we need to swap those. So we just pop back here and go to our code. And we say disconnect. That. Save that. Back in the seat. Wait, what? Oh, that's right. I only need to switch one. Bar to get out. So the one on the right is going... So they both need to be negative? I'm really confused. Don't record videos after a long day of work. R to get in. Oh yeah, okay. So they both need to be, only they're the exact opposite now. We're getting there. We're close. Real close. So we don't need the negative. I guess because the wheels are swapped. It makes sense. The wheels are already swapped, so you don't have to swap it. Because they're steering opposite directions. Duh. Hey, look at that. Let's go to the third person view. Now we got our awesome little rover. It's just a little powerful. They really... Oh, we do have a wheel that's not going the right direction though. I'm used to spacebar being parking brake, but that does not work. The wheels are way more powerful than they used to be. I need another one of these. We need that going to this guy. That'll sort that out. Some of you probably already caught that mistake as I was doing it. Yeah, she's a little powerful. Brakes work good. So how do we fix that? Well, we just go into the code here. So what we want to do is we want this number, which I think goes from 0 to 1. We want to scale that down. So we're going to disconnect these guys. I'm going to go back into our math here. I'm going to say divide. Have that go to there, and then this needs to go out to that wheel and that wheel. Our input comes in there, and then this guy, we're going to remember how to do this. 0 point, let's make it a 10th. So it'll divide whatever's coming in by 0.1 and send the output. Let's try that. Whee! Oh boy. Didn't really seem to tone it down much. Do we need to go? Whoa. Oh boy. Oh boy. Everybody hang on. That was fun. I need like a throttle arm. You can get like throttle arms, and you can do a lot fancier stuff than what I'm doing right here. Okay, let's do 0.001. That should definitely be slower. Oh, I'm doing divide. Durr. I are dumb. I thought I was on multiply. Well, you can see all my mistakes live right here on the video. There we go. That's what I meant to do. You can do the same thing. You can do lots and lots of tweaking in the code. There's also like throttle levers where you can set your speed, and you do all kinds of stuff. But this is a very, like, the most basic vehicle you can make. You can add dashboards with like battery levels, and you can do all kinds of stuff in this game. But I think this video has gone on long enough. Like I said at the beginning, there is a playlist where I started out in adventure mode, and you start by gathering rocks and you build up from there. Thanks as always for watching, folks. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day or night, and I will catch you in the next adventure. Take care.